Number 10. Playing at the Mug. Or Your Mama's Mug, I think it was called. Playing with Nick Rich and Patrick Carliano at the place in Corning. Your Mama's Mug is in Wellsboro. This is called, I can't remember. Maybe it'll come around. I don't know how this happened, but there's that picture. Cool. One of the Hours Fest. There's a guy who came up from someplace who did film someplace, played ukulele, and him and I are making music. Myself at the same place that I can't remember the name of. Kristen and I, Mary Poppins and Bert at the Grand Canyon with Buckley. So that's at the Grand Canyon too, or the Wellsboro Grand Canyon. We went and visited Matt and I can't remember her name up in Lake Placid area. Bert and Mary, that was fun. This is at the cabin with family members that Ben Nevin is related to. I can't remember their names. Black Box Theater in Wellsboro. I think tuning Ariana's guitar at Grandma's. 10 West Coffee Shop in Mansfield. Aunt Doris and Andrew and myself and Mom. This guy at a New Year's Eve party at the Tallies. Nick and, I'm sorry, Beth and Jason's wedding. Yep, I was fuzzy. Very talented musicians there. I was fuzzy. The Wells Township Park. Jay, Pete, myself, Joel. Not sure who that is. They have an instrument. They do. Who is it? Is it John Lucas? Me and that dude again at the Hours Festival at Beulah Land. 62 hours, I think. Looks like Wells Township Park. Don't know what I'm doing there with who. Your Mama's Mug in Wellsboro. Rock Bottom, that's the name of that place. There's Paulie, Sip Trop, Josh, and myself. Sip Trop is a drummer for some country band now down in Nashville. Wonderland. Second year I was there. We did some family photos. Look at that. And Jeremy's there with us. We all wore blue. More of that. 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 Andrew Avenue. What's that dog's name? I don't remember. More of that. More of that. That. Oh, that. And that. Huh. That. And that. Thanks for making that happen, Mom. That. Oh. Hours Festival. Dillian, not sure. Amelia. Sorry, I can't remember your name. Heather. Can't remember. Another pass through there. See if I can remember. Oh, and Presley's back there working on the car. Is that Amelia's sister? Yes. Cool. I can't remember your name. Aw. For the rock and roll photo shoot for the book, Mark. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Hey! Teabagged him. Mark. Vanilla. Came up and stayed at the cabin with Paul. Had them over. Mark, I traded him a guitar, an electric guitar, for the tile that is the slate tile floor in the cabin. I met his mom that day too. Jeremy and Dolly Parton on our trip down to Nashville. Cabin, first garden. Jeremy, there's our floor we built for the cabin. We found a log full of bees and honey. Jeremy and Jen and Dad, the day that Jeremy and Jen did the shingles poorly. But rather than stop them, because I was working on the inside, I just jumped in and helped. Look at those shingles. They talked afterwards, how, yeah, that was terrible. But just, hey, we'll just keep moving. Let's just keep it. Look at those. It was a fun day, nonetheless. Clearly. Good times. Good times. Nashville. Cabin. Cabin. Pete McRonald's truck and trailer he let me borrow to build this cabin and to collect all the frac pond liner for the roof. It was at Sarah G's house. The windows she had, the pallets I picked up throughout Elmira, the insulation for the roof from the old P&C. Tyvek looking stuff is feed bags that Jeremy's grandpa in Wellsboro donated for that. That's inside before the sheetrock got put on. There's the outside with the insulation for the outside, inside insulation, inside second floor. After getting that liner on, the solution for having some airflow underneath. 6x12s, which I made plenty of those when I was in Arizona. Russ Gill, he was a logger, is on the property and brought those logs down for me. Got one side of the floor done, flipping it over with Andy. Jen's tilling garden. I had trouble getting out of the garden after starting it and staying in there. Built that. I can't remember what they're called. Pallets and all that jazz. And then I had chickens as well. Had vegetables growing in that. First garden. Cabin with the first garden. Camper, Jeremy's work truck. got the door on. That was donated by Bridget and Bridget Van Outerloo and sorry, I can't remember your name right now, buddy. Oh, sweet man there. John. Upstairs, sheetrocked. Downstairs was Stella. Watched Stella for a while. A lady with really cute shorts on reading a book. Yeah, that's Jen. She's reading about Amsterdam. I took a trip there, which she financed mostly the whole thing. Thank you, Jen, for that. More cabin photos. That picture was made by Kenny Harris when he was doing the Art Race documentary TV show that never was picked up by it was on Hulu for a while, and I saw him at the Grand Canyon and gave him a ride, and then he did that, and so much happened from that. So he gave me I gave him a ride to the town just south of the Grand Canyon, Williams, I think it's Williams, Arizona. Got him a hotel, hung out with the film crew. He drew that and did the watercolor in the lobby of the hotel. I gave him the cash that I had. He kept the drawing, made it to California, and then framed it and mailed it to me. I called Ira, told him there's cool people doing this cool thing out there. If you can go, go meet them. And he did. And he met a woman, and then they got married, and then they've gotten separated, and that's what happened there. I was cleaning off that's at the cabin. 2 major injuries, the only major injuries. That was a drill bit into my middle finger, and that was a very dirty steel disc, wire disc on a drill. I was cleaning off a pallet knife, and I had a cotton glove on, and it caught the cotton glove and sucked that wire brush right into my wrist, and then I had to flip the drill to reverse and back it out because it was so tight on my wrist. Got the floor in, got the heater in. Found Jeremy in there next to that heater sleeping one night when I got back from a gig, I think, in Wellsboro probably. Frost-free spigot in the sink. That's what it looks like underneath it. The water to go in and out and run into the pond, so that it would keep running. More cabin photo. Dad working on the spring to make that happen. Aw, Dan and Leah hanging out. Jeremy cracking whip. That's awesome. Jeremy cracking whip. Oh, that's awesome. Jeremy cracking whip. Look at that. That's amazing. Yeah. Dad and Andy and Jeremy hanging out with whips. Made a piston fire starter and brought that up for me. Very creative, knowledgeable man. Jen and Dad with a weasel down at the sawmill. That's Mom and Ron walking back to their house. And that's Dad walking back to his camper. That's Jeremy with a thumbs up. That's Leah drinking out of the boot cup in the cabin. Dan having fun driving up in the woods. Took that Land Rover up to the top of the hill. This is a long one, but we're just going to keep on going, folks. Oh, that's the Land Rover at the top of the property. Mom and Abby doing some sledding. There's that tea bag of him again. Ira, he came up, and it was the first fire that was built in that cabin. And Jen and him and I went sled riding. And the spindly stuff there is out of Grandma's house when Pam, that's her name, Pam and Tom are remodeling it after Grandma passed. And I was picking up stuff at Sarah G's next door, the frac pond liner for the roof, and I saw that dumpster and went and took that out of the dumpster. That must have been gone for a while. This is not when I've been gone for a while. First garden. Well, that was the second year garden. That looks like a double picture there. That, Mark Ondero made that for Lisa and I as a wedding gift. That was a very cool little thing that he was doing. Knew him from Jerome. He was a Wall Street guy, liked to run a lot, had amazing calves, moved to Jerome and hung out, did some day trading. 72 tomato plants, 12 different varieties. That was fun. There's a little red bow in there that came from Beth. More construction. Some of the only new stuff I bought. John Cole and Sarah G, they came over and John helped make that pitch because I didn't know how to do that. I read the book, but I didn't know enough. Jeremy, check in, doing some inspecting. Notching in and leveling for the floor. Jen driving Russ's skidder. That Gary Fisher bike from Pete. I got 2 Gary Fishers from Pete. That was the second one. At the bottom of the floor looks like under construction. Oh, that's nice. Abby and Valora. Andrew and Valora. Oh, looks like an airport or something. Maybe with me waiting at the airport for my flight. Andrew and Valora. Not sure where that's at. Levi and Andrew. Oh, I was there for 4th of July. Very nice. Andrew looking at a map. That's another group of blue shirt people. Jeremy Brooks and I went to Nashville, and while we were there, well, we stayed with his grandparents, the ones out of Wellsboro. And we went to this bar and we walked in, and we're on stage right is where the door was, and I looked like that, and that wasn't how many people looked in those days. And the band just finished a song, and they looked at me, and the crowd looked at me, so I threw my hands up and said, "I'm here," or I said, "We're here." And we got a response from that. And I can't remember the name of the band, but she asked, "Do you play?" I said, "Yeah, well, come on up." So I went up and I played Folsom Prison, and that drummer worked with Merle Haggard. I can't remember the name of the band though. This is Fish at Watkins Glen. I can't remember what it's called right now. But I'm just gonna hold that there and have a sip of water. And who do we have? Can't remember. Bob and Adam. Can't remember. Lauren's husband, whose name I can't remember, his wedding reception. Jeremy and I crashed. There's Jeremy, there's Alyssa, there's me, there's Adrian number 2 or 3, Lauren, Beth, and Jason. Werewolves of Watkins is the shirts that we're all wearing. And that was the second day. I think it was the second set, or like the second time that they played, and we put all that stuff on, or maybe it was the first one. But when we walked in and we were on Mike's side, and the first song that they played was Wolfman's Brother, which was pretty fun for all of us. And Adam designed the shirts. And Beth showed up at the cabin while Jeremy and I were just sitting in the shade watching the North Garden grow. And she showed up with a bottle of tequila. We drank some tequila with her, and she told us we should go to this, and we said okay. So we got the tickets and went. Thank you for that, Beth. Dad and I up there at the cabin area wearing the hats. Eldon Nash and myself before I went out west again at Moose's Munchies in Troy. Playing guitar on Mom's patio. She had some company. I don't know who they were, but one of the ladies, she also played, so that was the thing that was requested or asked of. That was the thing to participate in. That's what it was. Sled riding at Leah's parents' place in kind of Georgetown, New York, I guess that is. And Jen and I went up there and had a great time, and I did that because that's what I do. And that was fun too. Nice people, good times. That was a good time. Back to Wonderland. I think that was the second year I was there. First year when I showed up, just was asked to hop on stage and play because somebody wasn't there, and then so much more happened. Valor and myself at the cabin. Levi and Dolly parking on the way to Nashville. God. Levi had 61 hours, or 62, no, 61 with a beard that short and that dark of tan. Andrew playing piano, Levi playing guitar at Mom's, Levi playing guitar. And that's the D15 that Brett won at the Bluegrass Festival at Ski Sawmill. Tate and Levi at the cabin. The cabin. Levi, Kristen, and Andrew doing music. This has been when I was working at Golder and Associates. Really cool words from Jeremy that he left me at the cabin one time. He's a good writer. Levi and Rick, when it was decided that we should drive to Maine after I did a gig at 10 West, and then we went to Ben Nevin's house for a party, and then we went to Marx Brothers, and then we drunk dialed Rick, and then Keith looked at me and said, "We should go to Maine." And I said, okay, because I didn't have a job. And Jeremy thought, okay, that's a good idea. So off we went with Stella and Jeremy and myself. Jeremy forgot his wallet, but he didn't forget something else. And we stopped at the Frid's Woodshed first, because that was what I said. If we're going, we're going to stop here and do that first, because we should not be driving. And so I did that. Jeremy and I stayed awake for all the drive-in, and Keith woke up in the back in Maine. And then we went and surprised Rick for his birthday. Got this from Tate and Ashley. There's Andrew and Dad having fun. Cute. That's what I did at 62 hours, and it was the word people in 20 some different languages, because I don't know what's going on in the world, but it was, we're all just people. Let's get along. Abby and that thing with somebody. Bunch of kids and Abby. More kids and Abby. Oh, haha, that's adorable. This was given to me by Ben and Lindsay's son, whose name I can't remember right now. And Valor and myself at Eldridge Park with the family playing putt-putt. That's a long one.